Teaching a lesson. After properly preparing for your lesson, you are ready to begin teaching. This video breaks down each section of the weekly lesson. Each lesson consists of two parts: the classroom instruction, which consists of opening and storytelling, farming content and review questions or quiz, and then the lesson activity, which consists of the activity and the closing prayer. Classroom instruction, opening and storytelling. The opening and storytelling should take place inside the classroom and last about 20 minutes. In this section, you will review the previous lesson, introduce the current lesson, and read the Bible story to the students. Time is allowed for the students to read the story in their student book, and teachers will guide students in retelling the story. Within the story, bold print is used to indicate what you should say to the students, and there are two types of bold print. Bible excerpts are in bold and not italicized. Other text for the teacher to say is in bold italics. Directions for the teacher and appropriate student answers are not in bold. Notice that the Bible story also has some words not in bold. These are paraphrased scripture, and the teacher should still read these words as well. While teaching your lesson, you should use the practice of Bible storying. This is carried out by a leader who tells the story and facilitates discussion and learning from the story. The goal of storying is to present the story so that each person not only learns from and about the story, but can accurately retell the story to others. As time allows, use the questions provided in your teacher's guide to engage both the individual and group response. Encouraging students to pair up and tell the story to each other or to the entire class is a great way to help reinforce their learning. Remember, you should always rehearse before telling the Bible story. There is one Bible story for each pair of lessons, so students will learn a total of 17 Bible stories. There is one main Bible verse for each pair of lessons, which can be used for memory work if desired. The stories are in odd-numbered lessons, and Bible application and memory verses are in even-numbered lessons. Some lessons have an additional section called Making Connections, an extra paragraph which connects the Bible content to the farming content. Anytime this paragraph is included, be sure to emphasize this connection to your students. Classroom instruction. Farming content. The farming content should also take place inside the classroom and last about 20 minutes. Note that not all lessons have farming instruction. This begins in Lesson 6. Each pair of lessons is written to align a Bible story with a farming value. For example, in Lesson 6, students learn that we need to be good stewards of all that God has given us, and that covering the soil with a blanket of mulch helps the soil to catch water, keep water, and release water to our plants. Both of these should be emphasized during the lessons. Note that the farming illustrations and diagrams are in the student book only, so teachers will need to have a copy of the student book in order to explain these parts of the lesson. Classroom instruction, review questions or quiz. At the end of each lesson are either review questions or a quiz. While teaching the lesson, if time does not permit, teachers may eliminate some discussion questions and choose only those that clearly align to the student learning objective. However, the review questions should never be skipped. On weeks 8, 16, 24, and 32, the review questions are replaced with a reminder to administer a quiz. Lesson activity. The hands-on activity will mostly take place outside of the classroom and is 40 minutes long. If class size is too large, the class can be divided into smaller groups based on availability of materials, space, and teaching assistants. Always ensure that teaching assistants are abiding by the 4 principles. Also, encourage students to come to class prepared to work outside and to wear shoes. Some activities will ask students to perform tasks outside of class time, such as watering seeds, and you should be prepared to follow up with these students to be sure this has been completed. Closing prayer. This section of the lesson should be done at the end of the lesson, whether inside or outside, and should last 5 minutes or less. Upon dismissal, remind students to share what they have learned with their families and friends.